Hello, and welcome to my initial reaction video to the Gaul Civilization for Civilization 6. I'm just going to be pausing as we go through to talk about it, so let's go to the beginning and let's watch.
Ambiorix leads Gaul in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Far more than just a king of the north, Ambiorix was known as the king in all directions. He ruled the Oberon tribe in what is now Belgium. Gaul's powerful, unique ability is called Eilstadt culture. It allows mines to provide a minor adjacency.
So, mines providing minor adjacency bonuses. This is really good. Mines are already very strong tiles, and now they're going to be even stronger because they'll be boosting your districts. So I'm liking this as a nice power-up.
Bonus for all districts, culture bomb unknown territory, and grant additional culture.
Wait. Okay, now we have culture bombing with mines. That is ridiculous. And additional culture from mines. So it looks like there's a resource there. And there. So it looks like mines just grant one extra culture. So a little bit extra culture from mines. The culture bomb, oh, that's strong. Yeah, they're gonna have a nice big empire with a improvement that's really good.
The downside to this power is that specialty districts cannot be built next to the city center and do not receive adjacency bonuses from other districts. Gaul's
Okay, that brings up a few questions. With the specialty districts. So it's only specialty districts that can't be placed adjacent to the city center, which is most problematic for the diplomatic quarter, as you will never get that extra envoy because it's a specialty district and it's not going adjacent to your city center. Also not receiving adjacency from districts. Does that apply to the government plaza with the standard government plaza bonus of getting +1 for being adjacent to a government plaza? Granted, it won't count as a district, but hopefully you still get the +1 from the government plaza. And I'm also wondering for industrial zones, does a aqueduct, canal, or dam still give a +2 bonus, even if it won't give the additional little bonus for being a district itself? A lot of ways to build a really strong industrial zones was to put a dam and an aqueduct adjacent to an industrial zone, and that would make it a +5 base. Or you could put two cities close enough together and use two aqueducts to kind of make it, and then two industrial zones from each city and kind of make a diamond of aqueduct and industrial zone. And that would also give a +5 base to each industrial zone. So I'm hoping those kind of things haven't gone away. In that case, this would be a +4 because you wouldn't get the bonus for adjacency for districts, but you'd still get the +2 bonus for being adjacent to aqueducts and dams. So I need to see a little bit more on that. And it won't prevent you from placing an aqueduct because an aqueduct is not a specialty district. And I think that's a very key distinction. It's not no districts, it's only specialty districts. Which I still think it may still allow you to place the spaceport in neighborhoods adjacent to the city center, because I don't think neighborhoods definitely aren't specialty districts, but I don't think spaceports are either. So a thing to keep in mind.
Unique unit is called the Gaizete. It replaces the warrior and receives additional combat strength when fighting stronger units and district defenses.
Okay, hold on.
And district defense.
Let me scroll back a little bit so we can see how much there. So it's right now, it's got a +10 for fighting a unit with a higher base combat strength, which means it's going to stack up really well against spearmen and heavy cavalry, or the heavy chariot. So 20 base strength, okay, so +8 strength from there, 10 versus anti-cav. So it's getting up to plus 60 versus this spearman. Base of 20. Looks like they've plugged in a policy card of discipline for plus 5. And then we're getting plus 10 versus anti-cavalry, since that's the spearman. And then plus 8 from the king of Aburone's trait. And then plus 10 for facing a stronger unit. So looks like there's several bonuses stacking here.
That strength when fighting stronger units and district defenses.
Stronger units and district defenses. I don't think that was into district defense, so we don't see that there. But that still makes the warrior very powerful early. Probably can do some nice warrior and archer pushes if you spawn right next to someone in deity level. But it'll keep you safe. Otherwise, it'll just keep you safe earlier, as if the AI has higher level units, your warriors will just be, hey, I've got a bonus to strength against you because you're more powerful than me. So that will make a swordsman rush less significant. Possibly also help you better stack up against early horsemen. It means that the early pushes are going to be far less effective against you.
But is more expensive to train. Gaul's unique district is called the Oppidum. It's not only cheaper and available earlier than the industrial zone, but also unlocks the apprenticeship technology when constructed.
Oh, that is huge. And it also looks like it has walls. It acts like a military zone for defensive purposes. And the fact that it unlocks industrialization when you build it and unlocks earlier means you get to put down really early industrial zones for cheap. They act as defensive locations. The other thing about them unlocking, trying to remember the technology, but whatever the technology that unlocks industrial zones usually, is that it gives your mines +1 production. So essentially you're going to get a large amount of science the first time you build one of these, and that large amount of science is going to have a immediate effect of making your mines better, which you're already going to be building for the culture bombs and extra culture.
Highly defensible, it offers its own ranged attack and receives a major adjacency bonus from quarries and strategic resources.
Oh, that is huge. Because you can't get district adjacency, getting that major adjacency bonus will mean quarries are a lot more valuable, meaning that you might chop stone less if you've got a nice little stone ringed around something with a possible strategic in there. You'll just leave those there, improve them with quarries, and then drop down your unique industrial zone to get a major adjacency bonus. So that'll reframe your chop decision on stone.
Ambiorix's ability is called King of the
There's that King of the Arborenes there. So your civilization gains 20% of the unit's cost when a non-civilian unit is trained. Okay, that's really useful when training units. You're going to not fall behind in the culture game. And melee, anti-cavalry, and ranged units. So basically your non-cavalry, non-water, but if you go for basically a non-cavalry army, they're going to get +2 strength for each adjacent combat unit. That does not say friendly. They just, the more units that are around them, the better they are. So that could be really nice. Give that nice horde tactic there, especially if you start getting support and flanking bonuses. That can get really, really high. So that's a good bonus right there. And then we see the Hallstatt culture, which we've already talked about, of the mines providing a minor adjacency bonus, and a culture problem of unknown territory, and +1 culture. Specialty districts do not receive a minor for being adjacent to each other, and these districts cannot be built adjacent to the city center. Okay, we knew that. The unique ancient era unit that replaces the warrior. Okay, so increased costs, +10 combat strength versus units with a higher base, and +5 versus district defenses. Okay, so a very nice early unit when going against other, heavy chariots and other warriors, they'll be okay. They might enable you to do an early war, but at the deity level, just considering the number of units you start out with and the AI starts out with, this is very nice as you're going to get your warrior is going to pack a bit more of a punch, probably let you do some better against some early barbarians, and if you get an early war declared on you, you're probably going to do better in defending that war just because your warriors are going to be that much more effective. And then, of course, the unique industrial zone, and it's unlocked at apprenticeship. Hold on. Okay, that's not quite mining, but apprenticeship. I'm trying to think of where that is in the tech tree. That is early in the tech tree. So you get industrial zones early. Probably get a lot of industrial great people. That could really help towards a science victory. But you go take that in other areas as well.
Birwans. It grants Gaul additional culture based on unit cost when a non-civilian unit is trained. It also gives melee, anti-cavalry, and ranged units bonus combat strength for every adjacent combat unit. Gaul's focus is on a defensive, culture, and production-centered game. Prioritize border expansion early so you have room to build districts far from the city center. Claim as many mines as possible to fuel this expansion with Gaul's culture bombing ability. Place the oppidum to guard valuable resources in your sprawling city. Also, consider rushing military tradition for flanking bonuses, which can combine with Gaul's horde-based combat buffs to forge a truly formidable army. Will you undermine your enemies to...
Okay, so my thoughts here is that Gaul has bonuses to production and culture and some early bonuses to warfare. They look to be kind of a military, especially because of their adjacency bonuses, so they could, kind of move a horde across the map, Civ. So that's their military route, and then they have the production to support it. But all their extra culture from units and from mines could actually work really well towards a diplomacy victory if they use their military strength more defensively, because diplomacy is about getting high culture, because that's how you get a lot of diplomatic favor, is through the culture tree, by unlocking extra envoys to place into city-states, and by eventually reaching the project that lets your industrial zones get the project carbon capture, which reduces global warming and gives you diplomatic favor. So, and then their kind of backup is a science victory, because while they don't have bonuses to science, they do have a lot of bonuses to production, and getting culture while they're going for production, and allows them, so they're not worried so much about not building theater districts for culture, because their mines are giving them that little bit of extra culture that they need to get up the civics tree, while they're focused on building campuses and industrial zones to get the production and science they need to win a science victory. So I would say that they kind of got that military, science, and oddly enough, diplomacy. You just have to realize that you're working to try to get up to the carbon capture project, and then really take advantage of your high production to work a bunch of those projects to get the diplomatic favor you need. That is not going to be a super fast victory, but it could be very effective. And that's my initial impressions of Gaul. So thank you very much for joining me, and be seeing you.